From the dawn of human history, PvP has been a staple feature which we can't seem to get rid of. As a species, we can be notoriously violent and power-driven, and this comes through no better than in our long and bloody history of PvP. When I was researching what battle to cover for this video, I realised just how many there are. I may as well have been traipsing through every game of Battle Royale that's ever been played. Honestly, it felt like opening Pandora's loot crate. It's a recurring theme that every notable faction in history seems to have wanted to kill the other notable factions at some point. It's almost as if our race delights in utterly obliterating opposing factions and declaring themselves the victor, or the only ones left. Our innate warlike tendencies are so unsuppressible that in more recent years, we've had to channel our lust for PvP into video games instead. What's more is nowadays it's mostly popular among children. Accounts of ancient battles date far back into the beta, but the devs hadn't really capitalised on the popularity of PvP back then, and hence these weren't properly documented. Events like the Battle of Bangkuan in China, the Unification Battle of Egypt, and the Battle of the Ten Kings all took place before the devs implemented the battle stats update, and therefore it's difficult to know much about the actual PvP of these battles aside from who won. As far as most are concerned, the Battle of Megiddo, which took place in the early 14th century BC, when ancient Egypt was a leading faction, is the first PvP event with a detailed historical account. So the human players are at it again. What? Oh, murdering each other. Yeah, over in Egypt, a place called Megiddo? Megiddo? How many? Sorry, what? How many players are involved? Sorry, it's just that we've never counted before. We've just sort of let them battle it out. Right, well, today I want to know. This is getting horribly out of hand. I told you they were trouble the second they started using tools, and did anybody listen to me? Nope. Well, so I'd have to count them, and that would take me ages, and I have a lot of other places to go and monitor. So, is anybody not doing anything important? Oh, shit. Anyone? Yes. Very busy, terribly busy. Anybody at all? Time I have, free to spend, yes. Okay, so what I'm thinking is we make PvP a bit more of a feature, you know, count player deaths, players captured, players killed, players escaped, etc. Since the humans aren't going to stop doing it, we might as well make it a feature, you know, put it in changelogs, updates, publicise it a bit, make a bit of money. And this I suppose I can do, yes, log it all down for you, players in future find it, call it wiki, after my father. Sure. Just get it done, yeah? You? Yeah, this I do for you, boss. For pay rise, yes? Okay, I do it. Hey, you see any more PvP events happening on Earth? You tell this guy right here, you got me? Cool, yeah. Ah, there we go, you see? Teamwork. It's what we like to see. Here, it's what makes the server go round. So, if you'll excuse me, I have a meeting with the head of the Mars server to attend. And so the Battle of Megiddo went down in history as the first battle to officially go down in history. Battles were first logged by the hieroglyph system, which is now pretty outdated. However, the item hieroglyphs were inscribed onto, the tablet, has actually made a major comeback in recent years. Swings and roundabouts, I guess. So the Battle of Megiddo began when high-level Pharaoh player Hatshepsut had recently logged off for good, leaving the Egypt faction under the control of lower-level Pharaoh Thutmose III. However, the city of Megiddo decided to try and split apart from the new admin, resulting in Thutmose marching to Megiddo with 10 to 20,000 clan members. Hang on, how is that in any way accurate documentation? 10 to 20,000? That's like a pretty important difference. That would be like saying today that coronavirus cases could be double what we thought they were. So I guess the devs' initial release of this system was still very buggy and incomplete at first, something nobody would do today. Who knows? Maybe the developer wasn't drinking coffee the entire time. They did start getting some things more accurate though, like the number of deaths on each side, wounded, captured. The actual account of the battle was pretty detailed too. It began long ago. Well, of course it began long ago. It's ancient Egypt. I'm telling the story. Alright, well, get on with it then. We're already at 4-minute runtime here. Bloody hell. As I was saying, it began long ago, with Thutmose III marching to Megiddo with his 10 to 20,000 men. On the way, he was greeted by a ravine and 3 potential routes, either side of the ravine or directly through it, where it was so narrow, the soldiers would have to travel single file. Obviously, the smart thing to do would be to go around the ravine. I mean, you get ambushed whilst you're in there, it's bye-bye army, trust me, I've got hundreds of hours in Total War. Thutmose chose to go through the ravine. Oh fuck. Assuming his enemies wouldn't have predicted this and wouldn't have an army waiting at the other end. Bloody idiot. And this, it turned out, was the smartest move. Oh. After emerging, Thutmose was free to march towards the city. The enemy forces lined outside the walls were immediately broken and retreated back behind the safety of Megiddo's walls. This would have been an easy and decisive win, but due to the Egyptian soldiers having a low discipline level, many of them stopped to loot the dead's items and gold rather than chasing down stragglers and winning the battle. The enemy princes managed to retreat into the city, triggering a siege that lasted for 7 months. Now, the fact that this info has survived until today is pretty impressive, I guess. I mean, they didn't have that mechanic that allows you to fly around the map and spectate a replay, which would have been a lot cooler. It also meant I've actually had to go to some effort to recreate the bloody thing in Medieval 2 Total War. Okay, I know it didn't take place during medieval times, but Total War Egypt doesn't exist. There's an idea for you, Sega. After that though, PvP did slowly start to become better documented, and today we know about a lot of historical battles. Jesus Christ, I cannot make videos on all of these. So like this video if you want to see all of these. No, I'm going to cover the gradual progression of battles throughout history. You know how thousands of clans and empires across thousands of years have continued to engage in more and more sophisticated PvP. The Egyptians with their composite bows and chariots, the Romans with their legionnaires and awesome headgear, medieval knights, jousting, crusaders, Mongol horse archers, samurai, Renaissance battalions, American battalions, Ottomans, the British Empire, World War I, World War II, where PvP really started to change, all the way up to today with modern warfare. It's utterly crazy how much PvP has changed, and for me, the starting point was the Battle of Megiddo, where the devs finally realised that PvP was a game mechanic that wasn't going anywhere. As always, like this video and subscribe if you want to see more on this topic. I'm very excited to cover a bunch of the battles I just mentioned in more depth. Of course, comment down below any historical PvP events you would love to hear about. I'm trying to go in somewhat of a chronological order, but we'll see how that goes. And if you guys want to help me grow so I can spend more time focusing on delivering new content like this, then of course, share my channel with friends, family, general acquaintances. Until next time, enjoy your playthrough, keep playing, and above all... What the... come on, again? Click one of the squares for another 5 or so minutes of me.